Good morning, students. Today we will discuss the necessary and sufficient conditions for parametric curves to be geodesic. So first of all, let us take the parametric curve V is equal to constant. We will find necessary and sufficient condition for this curve to be geodesic, and we prove that this condition is given by E into E2 plus F into E1 minus 2E into F1 is equal to 0. Here E1 is the partial derivative of E with respect to parameter U, and E2 is the partial derivative of E with respect to the parameter V, and F1 is the partial derivative of F with respect to the parameter U. Here E and F are the first fundamental magnitudes. Now because the given curve is U is equal to constant, V is equal to constant, so we can take U as a parameter. So the parametric equations for this curve can be taken as V is equal to C and U is equal to a parameter which we have taken as T. Now let us find the partial derivatives of U and V with respect to the parameter T. Now the derivative of U with respect to T, that is 1. U dot denotes the derivative of U with respect to T, and V dot, because V is constant, so its derivative with respect to T, that will be 0. Now by definition, T is given by half of E U dot square plus 2F U dot V dot plus G V dot square. Now let us find the partial derivatives of T with respect to U, V, U dot and V dot. So firstly let us differentiate T partially with respect to U. From here, derivative of E with respect to U, that will be denoted by E1. U dot square will remain as it is. U dot V dot will remain as it is. The partial derivative of F with respect to U, that will be denoted by F1. And here the partial derivative of G with respect to U, that is denoted by G1. So we get the partial derivative of T with respect to U, which is given by half of E1 U dot square plus 2F1 U dot V dot plus G1 into V dot square. Now let us differentiate T partially with respect to V. The partial derivatives with respect to V are denoted by the suffix 2 in the base. Now from here, the partial derivative of this term with respect to V, that will be E2 into U dot square. The derivative of this term 2 U dot V dot will remain as it is. The partial derivative of F with respect to V, that will be denoted by F2, and here V dot square will remain as it is. Derivative of G with respect to V, that is denoted by G2. Now let us differentiate T partially with respect to U dot. Now when we partially differentiate with respect to U dot, the derivative of this term will be 2 into U dot into E. Derivative of this term with respect to U dot, that will be 2F V dot, and derivative of this term, that will be 0. Now let us find partial derivative of T with respect to V dot. Derivative of this term, that will be 0. Derivative of this term, that will be 2F U dot, and derivative of this term, that will be G into 2V dot. So we get partial derivative of T with respect to V dot, that is given by F into U dot plus G into V dot. Now we can substitute the values of U dot and V dot in all these 4 partial derivatives. So we get curl T by curl U is equal to half of E1. Partial derivative of T with respect to V is equal to half of E2. Partial derivative of T with respect to U dot, that is E. Partial derivative of T with respect to V dot, that is F. Now let us substitute these values in U. Now by definition, the function U is given by derivative of curl T by curl U dot minus curl T by curl U. Now curl T by curl U dot, that is E. So this will become derivative of E with respect to T minus this value is half of E1. Now because E is the function of U and V, so its derivative with respect to T, that is given by curl E by curl U into du by dt plus curl E by curl V into dv by dt, and this term will remain as it is. Now this is U dot, dv by dt is V dot. So from here we get the value of U, which is given by half of E1. Now let us find V. By definition, V is given by the derivative of curl T by curl V dot minus curl T by curl V. Now substituting the value of curl T by curl V dot, this is F, and partial derivative of T with respect to V, that is given by half of E2. So substituting the values, we get the value of capital V, which is given by F1 minus half of E2. Now we already discussed the necessary and sufficient condition for a curve to be geodesic on a given surface, and that condition is given by U into curl T by curl V dot minus V into curl T by curl U dot is equal to 0. Now substituting the values of U, V, curl T by curl V dot, curl T by curl U dot, in this equation we get the required condition, which is E into E2 plus F into E1 minus 2E F1 is equal to 0. So this is the necessary and sufficient condition for the curve V is equal to constant to be a geodesic on the given surface. In the same way, you can prove this theorem for the curve U is equal to constant. In this case, the only difference will be that in this case you will take V is equal to T and U is equal to constant. So you will get the condition that will become G into G1 plus F G2 minus 2G F2 is equal to 0. Now we have some deductions from these two results. The first deduction from this result is if the parametric curves are orthogonal, then the necessary and sufficient condition for the curve V is equal to constant to be geodesic will become E2 is equal to 0. Now because when the parametric curves are orthogonal, in that case the fundamental magnitude F, that becomes 0. So its partial derivative with respect to U, that will also be 0. So this equation in this case will become E into E2 is equal to 0. Now because E is not equal to 0, so E2 must be 0. E2 means the partial derivative of E with respect to the parameter V. So if E2 is 0, it means partial derivative of E with respect to the parameter V is 0. It means we can say that E is the function of U alone. Now in the same way we have the deduction from the second theorem. If the parametric curves are orthogonal, then the necessary and sufficient condition for the curve U is equal to C to be geodesic, that will become G1 is equal to 0. Because in this case when U is equal to constant, the condition is G into G1 plus F into G2 minus 2G F2 is equal to 0. Now because the parametric curves are orthogonal, so F will be 0, so this term will be 0, and if F is 0, its partial derivative with respect to V, that will also be 0. So these two terms will be 0. So this equation becomes G into G1 is equal to 0. Now because G is not equal to 0, so we get G1 is equal to 0. It means partial derivative of G with respect to U will be 0. So we can say that G is the function of V alone. Now let us see an example based on geodesics. So the example is, show that the curve U plus V is equal to constant are geodesic on the surface with metric 1 plus u square into du square minus 2uv du dv plus 1 plus v square into dv square. Now let us take the parametric equations for this curve. Let us take u is equal to t. So from here, because v is c minus u, so v will become c minus t. Therefore, the derivatives of u and v with respect to t, from here the derivative of u with respect to t, that will become 1, and derivative of v with respect to t, that will become minus 1. Now we are given the metric, comparing it with the metric as we discussed in chapter 4, that is given by ds square is equal to e du square plus 2f du dv plus g into dv square. So comparing the given metric with this form, the value of e, that is 1 plus u square, the value of 2f is minus 2uv, the value of g is 1 plus v square. So we have obtained the values of e, f and g. Now let us substitute these values in the function t, which we define by half into e u dot square plus 2f u dot v dot plus g into v dot square. Substituting the values of e, f and g here, and let us find all the partial derivatives of t with respect to u and v. So we get partial derivative of t with respect to u. From here, the derivative of 1 plus u square will be 2u, and this term will remain as it is. And from here, when we are doing partial derivative with respect to u, v, u dot and v dot, they will remain as it is. The derivative of u will be 1, and derivative of this term with respect to u, that will be 0. So substituting the values of u dot and v dot from here, we get partial derivative of t with respect to u, which is given by c. In the same way, partial derivative of t with respect to v is also c, and partial derivative of t with respect to u dot, that is 1 plus ct, and partial derivative of t with respect to v dot, that is ct minus 1 minus c square. Now let us find the values of capital U and capital V. By definition, capital U is given by the derivative of curl t by curl u dot minus curl t by curl u. Substituting the values of curl t by curl u and curl t by curl u dot, we get derivative of 1 plus ct minus c. Now derivative of ct with respect to t, that will be c. So this will become c minus c, which is 0. So this will become u is equal to 0. Now let us find v. By definition, v is given by the derivative of curl t by curl v dot minus curl t by curl v. Now curl t by curl v dot, that is ct minus 1 minus c square, and curl t by curl v, that is c. So substituting the values here, we get v is equal to 0. Now we already discussed the necessary and sufficient condition for a given curve on a surface to be geodesic is given by v into curl t by curl u dot minus u into curl t by curl v dot is equal to 0. Now substituting the values of u, v here, because capital U and capital V, these are 0, so this becomes 0. So we can say that this relation is satisfied, and hence we can say that the curve u plus v is equal to constant is a geodesic.